I bet. Just a minute. It lives, I see. Do you want to speak with Lolita? I'm sorry, but Gabriel's allowed. Oh, I mean, he's out. You know, you could do better. I know I don't know you, but you could do better. Bye-bye. Good morning. You look like hell. Did you have another nightmare last night?
Yes, because having nightmares is what I do, apparently. 7th damn night in a row.
I told you, it's that voodoo book you're researching. That stuff can seriously screw with your karma.
Unfortunately, I don't think my readers would go for a horror novel about fluffy bunny rabbits. So voodoo it is.
You mean your reader? She lives in Wisconsin, doesn't she?
Bite me.
Hey, what goes on in your bed stays in your bed as far as I'm concerned. I have messages for you when you want them.
At Giant Discount Bookstore, we discount every title 50%. When you see our selection and prices, you'll never want to shop with those little guys again.
I want you to take hold of your prayer clothes. Better yet, take hold of your radio.
Gabriel, shut that refrigerator, please. Oh, I can smell it from here.
About doing what's right. Those of you who are out there listening to these radio waves of comfort, you know what I'm talking about. Every day this program reaches out into the darkness and pulls lost souls from the grasp of the devil himself. Oh, but
I might
now
need a
I don't
flashlight.
have to tell you that the Lord's work does not come cheap, my friends. So I want you to get up right now. Take out an envelope, fill it with whatever you can, and send it today. We both know that doing what's right. I ask you, my friend, have you done your share today?
I'll take this
Or are
here,
you
Joe.
being
You
carried
never know
by
when you'll
those
need a
dedicated
touch-up.
souls who support this ministry with their generous gifts and offerings? Remember, my friend, faith that costs nothing.
Times dated June 18th, 1993. The Aquarius horoscope says, potential storms ahead. Proceed with caution and do not get involved with anything new at this time.
Right. Like I haven't tried. Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
What do you know about voodoo?
I didn't know much of anything about it until you started researching it for your book. Now I know that it's active in the city. There's that shop and museum. It can clearly be dangerous in the wrong hands. You should be careful investigating it.
What do you know about...
I've told you all I...
Did you find any good voodoo resources for me?
The best in the city are supposedly the Dixieland Drugstore and the Historical Museum of Voodoo. Both are right here in the French Quarter.
How would I ever manage without you?
You? Give me a break. The devil himself couldn't change you.
Well, if the devil had great legs, perhaps. Like yours.
And a riveting personality, I'm sure. If you need any more research done, just ask. It's not as though we're swamped with customers.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Just what I read in the papers, same as you.
What do you know
You won't get far questioning me about it, Sherlock.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I've only been here 2 months, but I love it. It's so much more alive than any place I've been. It feels like anything's possible here.
What else can you tell me about New Orleans?
You're the native. Don't ask me.
Do you have messages for me?
Your friend Detective Mosley called. Talkative, isn't he?
Especially with you. What did he want?
He told me to tell you that his mother's maiden name is Humphrey, and that he left some photos for you at the station, at the front desk.
It's about time.
Let me guess. This has to do with the voodoo murders, right? Some kind of inside police information? Did you tell him you'd put him in your new book?
Maybe. A writer has a certain obligation to his readers, you know.
Gabriel, you know you'll never put him in your book. Your main character's a female orthodontist. You're gonna be reincarnated as a pit bull if you keep screwing with your karma.
As long as it's a male pit bull with a really big...
That's enough. Thanks.
Do you have messages for me?
You got a call from someone named Wolfgang Ritter. He was calling from Germany. He told me it was urgent. Maybe you should give him a call.
Call Germany? Like hell. If it's really important, he'll call back.
Well, fine. Let's just hope he's not with the German lottery for pitiful American authors.
Do you have messages?
Your grandmother called.
I keep meaning to get over there. What did she say? Did she sound good?
She sounded great. We had a nice little chat about you.
Grace?
Don't worry, I didn't go into detail about your cardinal sins. Not that anything about you could surprise her. She adores you anyway.
She's my girl.
And she sent over that box on the table for you.
Do you have messages for me?
Dana called and Susie left a message about a lawsuit.
Toss 'em.
Okie dokie. Well, that's all the messages for now.
Tell me about yourself, Grace.
What do you want to know?
How come we haven't gone out yet?
I'm still waiting around for that lobotomy. Soon as I get it, I'll let you know, okay?
How do you like working at St. George's Books?
Well, it's not exactly a huge intellectual challenge. Although the math in your record books could confuse Einstein. Still, I love old books. And it's a nice way to pay the bills while I explore the city for a summer. If you ever pay me, that is.
What do you do after work?
I either go to my oil painting class or my Tai Chi. You know that.
You can go overboard with this improving yourself stuff. You don't want to alienate us mere mortals.
Oh, I suppose I should just allow my mind and body to atrophy.
Works for me. How old are you?
Old enough to know about men like you.
Just tell me anything at all.
I just got my master's in history and classics. My folks wanted me to go on right away for my PhD, but 18 years of school was enough. I needed a break.
Just tell...
I came to New Orleans because I'd read so much about it. I thought spending a few months here would clear my head.
Just...
I've been studying Tai Chi for 10 years. It's a very spiritual discipline. I'm sure discipline of any sort isn't something that would appeal to you, Gabriel.
Nothing, I guess. Never mind. So, what's new, Grace?
Your use of mathematics, for one thing. These books are unbelievable.
What can I say? I refuse to be bound by rules.
The strap marks on your bedpost speak otherwise.
Done anything interesting lately?
By your definition, no. I prefer it that way.
Keep 'em busy?
Not really. If you need any research done, let me know.
Seen any good movies?
I saw a great documentary last night on pyramid excavations.
You mean small, dark places that haven't been touched in centuries? Sounds right up your alley.
Well, it did help me gain a better understanding of your mind.
Did I ever tell you that you're actually quite attractive?
Be still, my heart.
Had any customers lately?
No, but I'm sure you have.
You know, you really should get out more.
But then who'd take care of St. George's?
Me?
Exactly.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure, what?
I can't think of anything. I can go through the rest of that stuff some other time. Mind if I borrow the magnifying glass?
No, Sherlock. Just bring it back when we get the next estate shipment.
I'm going to take the tweezers for a bit.
Good. You're beginning to look a bit scruffy.
Gabriel opens a cash register to examine the take, or in the case of St. George's books, the mistake.
I trust you can live without this old gift certificate.
Knock yourself out.
Gabriel leafs through a German-English dictionary.
Drachen means dragons. I wonder if Mosley would know he was being insulted if I called him Drachen Breath.
Gabriel leafs.
Drachen means dragon. Hey, that's interesting. Snakes can sense their prey by vibration.
Did you know that medieval legends about dragons and giant worms are actually based on snakes? You know, dragons, devils, sea monsters. They've always been associated with snakes.
Grace, get alive. Drei Drachen kriegen in meinen Schlaf, die Seele wühlen sie, lebendig zum Fraß. Feurigen Atems, gespaltener Zunge, genießen sie jedes Mal.
That's nice. Kinda creepy, though. Who's the author?
Heinz Ritter. I'm not sure what it says, but I get the feeling this guy was one sick puppy.
Gabriel leafs through it.
Reise means a journey. I wonder if I'll ever use this stuff.
Gabriel leafs through.
Himmel means heaven. Huh.
Gabriel leafs.
Mittag means midday, noon.
Gabriel leafs through.
Spiel means game. Interesting.
Gabriel leafs.
Reise means...
Nope. No safe full of money back there. 3 snakes in a skull. Gabriel's father painted it.
What a wacky offbeat kind of guy Daddy was. See you later.
See ya.
kind of forklift? Got a second, officer?
What can I do you for?
What do you know about voodoo?
Me? Nothing. I'm a Catholic boy.
What can you tell me about the voodoo murders?
I'm not allowed to give out information on police cases.
What can you tell me?
Hey, buddy, do I look like the kind of lowlife that'd betray my sacred oath to this department?
I don't know. What would that kind of lowlife look like?
Like hamburger meat if I got a hold of him. Kinda like what you're gonna look like in about 5 seconds.
Okay. Sorry I asked. What can you tell me about Gnarlings?
I'll tell you, I'm glad as hell it's not Mardi Gras. If it weren't for that 1 month a year, being a cop in Gnarlings would be a real pleasure. As it is, I'd rather stick behind this desk.
What can you tell me?
Best food in the world. You can get it right here in Gnarlings. Muffaletta sandwiches. Beignets, good Cajun coffee. Yep, a man can die happy in this city.
It's practically guaranteed. Tell me about yourself.
Who, me? I'm the desk sergeant, Frick. Why?
Frick?
That's right. You got a problem with that?
Not at all. Tell me about yourself.
You see that front door?
Yeah?
Well, I watch people come in. See this book?
Yeah?
Well, I write people's names in it, see? People that bother me. Want me to put your name in this book?
Oh, I think not.
That's what I thought.
Tell me about it.
I hate people who ask stupid questions.
Hey, nice precinct.
Think so, huh? That's peachy. That means more to me than you could know.
Kinda quiet in here today.
Summer's like that. Too muggy to mug, too hot to heft.
How clever.
It's a gift.
So, what's new around the old police station?
Well, we're now allowed to shoot chatty pedestrians on sight.
That sounds convenient.
I like it.
Excuse me, Officer Frick?
Whatever it is, no. Now get out of here before I have you arrested for disturbing the peace.
So, anything interesting happening around here?
Look, I've got a job to do. Chat with someone else, huh?
I was supposed to pick up some photos from Detective Mosley at the front desk.
Is that right? And who are you?
My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Yeah, I got something for you, all right. As soon as you're done talking, I'll give it to you.
I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
He's out at a crime scene. Sorry.
I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
I told you, he's not here.
I'm here to see Detective...
I told you.
Where's the crime scene? Is it related to the voodoo murders?
Crime scene information is police confidential. We don't need any more looky-loos than are probably already there.
Come on, you can tell me where the crime scene is.
Look, I know the paper's got everybody stirred up about these killings, but that don't make it public information. Back off.
So this is a new voodoo murder then?
Hey, I didn't say that. You'll read all about it in the papers tomorrow. I'm sure.
Please tell me where the crime scene is.
Look, buddy, you keep it up, and there'll be a crime scene right here. Here's that envelope for you, Gabriel Knight.
Thanks.
Gabriel opens the manila envelope and finds 2 photographs. The photograph of Mosley was apparently taken upon his graduation from the police academy. He had hair then. One of the photos from Mosley is an official Voodoo Murders crime scene shot, a graphic close-up of a victim. Gabriel prefers his own bike. Besides, even Mosley couldn't get him out of that one.
Mind if I use your radio?
What are you, nuts? Forget it.
Touchy.
You white-faced geek, you want to eat my fist?
Since Gabriel can't read lips, he's disinclined to start a conversation.
Hey, cut that out. I told you to stop that. All right, mister, you want some of this? Why, you little...
Gabriel picks up the headset and listens.
Ambulance 91, have you located the crime scene? They've radioed for you 3 times. Did you say it was north of the Lake Retreat Country Club? South, Lakeside Drive, north of the Piedmont Pier, south of the Country Club. Man, I don't know if it's the clouds out
Well,
here today
I
or
never.
what.
Leave me alone,
Already
you man.
Everyone's having trouble. Must have been hallucinogens in the coffee this morning. It's just so misty out here or something. Hey, I see a squad car. I got him, Molly. Thank God. Have a good one, 91.
Interesting.
Hey, you, get away from that bike.
Sorry. Hey, Mosley.
Huh? Night, you wiener, I told you not to call me that.
Feeling jumpy?
Who, me? Don't be stupid. How'd you find me?
Oh, I was just driving by.
Uh-huh. Well, I guess I can let you see it. For the book. But don't tell anyone, huh? Definitely another voodoo murder. Same MO and no freaking clues. We're still waiting on an ID for the body.
Oh, that's disgusting. Isn't this a rather public area for this kind of thing?
Yeah, they're freaking ghosts, these guys. Lakeshore Drive isn't exactly the 10 expressway, but it is open to the public. No reports of nothing. Now, who the hell is that? Good day, Miss Getty.
What's going on, officer?
Detective Mosley, ma'am. We got a little problem here, but nothing for you to be concerned about.
I see. Thank you, detective. And good day, gentlemen.
I'm in love.
Forget it. That's Molly at Getty. She's about as far out of your reach as the moon. Probably on her way to meet some guy with a yacht right now.
Near here?
The lake's a popular place for country clubs.
If she's out here a lot, maybe she saw something or heard something.
Nah, nobody ever sees or hears nothing. I told you. Besides, you just don't go around bothering people like her.
We've about wrapped it up, sir.
Well, let's get the meat wagon moving then. Stick around and take notes for the book if you want. Watch out for the muck and the water moccasins, though. If you want to talk, I'll be at the station tomorrow.
Thanks. Ugh, that's a lot of blood. No, I've got no way to take that with me, and I don't want to. Looks like there was something here. I should take a closer look.
The marks are actually deep indentations in a regular mesh pattern. Gabriel can't see a way to...
I can't even see what I'm trying to pick up. I need a better...
It looks like a scale of some sort. Gabriel carefully uses the tweezers to take the small, iridescent scale.
I think it's a snake scale, but it beats the hell out of me what kind.
There's a pattern to the lines in the sand, but only one small area is clearly defined.
Let me try to copy this down. I'll take some of this clay with me. I knew you'd miss me, so I came back.
Really? I forgot you were gone.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you know anything about snakes?
Doing a family tree, Gabriel?
Very funny. I mean real snakes, you know, scaly, cold-blooded. I would have thought you'd find them empathetic.
Mm-hmm. I know very little about reptiles of any kind, and prefer to keep it that way. I think there's a book on snakes around here somewhere, though.
Okay, thanks. Could you do some research for me?
Sure, what?
Could you see what you can find out about a woman named Malia Getty?
The name Getty sounds familiar. What's your interest in her?
Oh, just, you know, stuff about the voodoo murders. If you can get an address.
Mm-hmm. The murders, right. I'll see what I can find out. Well, it's about closing time.
So it is. Good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gabriel. And try not to dream, okay? Good morning. Don't you look swell today? Actually, swollen. So have some. There's a fresh pot on the table. Seriously, you look like hell. Your hair is sticking straight up like a... Oh, it always does that. Never mind.
Ha ha.
Did you dream about the fire and the hanged guy and that lion thing last night?
Leopard, not lion. Did you get anything on Malia Getty?
Well, I did get her address, but you're a little out of your league here, big fella. The Gettys own 3 local hospitals, just to name a few of their assets. They run in very high circles.
Did you get an address?
I got the address. I suppose this has nothing to do with the fact that Malia Getty is incredibly gorgeous. I should have known you wouldn't go for a rich, ugly socialite.
And that address is?
Hey, far be it from me to postpone your total humiliation. It's 557 West Ingram. That's the Garden District. Estate City.
That's all I wanted to know. And yes, my dear, Malia Getty is the most dangerous-looking diversion I have ever seen. Ouch.
Ugh, men.
Times dated June 19, 1993. A front-page article describes the most recent of the voodoo murders. Gabriel scans it but learns nothing new. The article reiterates that the voodoo aspect of the crime is faked. Gabriel shivers. It looked real enough to him. Elsewhere, there's an article about the history of Jackson Square. Called the Plaza d'Armes under French rule, it was used for executions, firing squads, hangings, even impalement and breaking on the wheel. Yikes! Of course, these days, it's mostly a hangout for tourists, street musicians, and local artists. Gabriel also scans the Aquarius horoscope for the day. Chances of a dark star rising on this day. Do not trust your instincts.
I feel a dark star rising, all right. Rawr. Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you have messages for me?
I've given everything to you.
See you later.
See ya.
Welcome, my friend. Hello. I am the proprietor, Dr. John. If you have any questions, I will be happy to assist.
Great. My name is Knight, and I'll probably take you up on that. Could I ask you a few questions?
That is why I am here.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Historical voodoo, or the voodoo currently practiced in the city.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The killings in the newspaper. I know they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans.
What makes you think the voodoo murders aren't being done by local practitioners?
Voodoo is a popular boogeyman, Mr. Knight, especially in New Orleans. Anyone can pretend to use it, just as anyone can pretend to be a black belt in karate. And for the same reason, to intimidate. I know voodoo in this city, Mr. Knight, and believe me, it is not about killing. Even the police have stated that the killings have nothing to do with local voodoo.
So you know nothing about the voodoo murders case?
I neither know nor care to know, Mr. Knight. My only possible interest is in how it might affect the public's attitude towards the museum. So far, it has not been an issue. No one has even had the bad taste to bring it up. Until you, that is.
What do you think of New Orleans?
It is the only city in the United States, as far as I am concerned.
What is it about New Orleans that you so admire?
It has a real culture of its own, Mr. Knight. Amid the horrid blandness that is Americana, New Orleans alone has a voice.
Spoken like a true New Orleanian. Do you know anything about snakes?
Ah, you have perhaps noticed the museum snake, Mr. Knight? They are beautiful creatures. Do you not agree? And the tourists seem to associate them with voodoo.
Is this snake yours? Do you use it in your practice of voodoo?
I admire the spirit of the snake, Mr. Knight. But snakes, like the museums, can be quite dangerous to handle.
You didn't really answer my question.
I think I did, Mr. Knight.
Tell me about yourself.
Me?
Yes, if you don't mind.
What is it you wish to learn?
Why did you open a voodoo museum?
The subject has fascinated me all my life, and I wanted to help preserve the cultural heritage it represents.
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
Let us just say I cut my teeth on it, Mr. Knight. It is in my blood.
Do you do anything besides run the museum?
No, the museum does not make me a rich man, but my material needs are simple. I prefer to focus on my one true interest in life.
What are your own religious beliefs?
My beliefs are too personal and too complex to discuss with a layman, Mr. Knight.
Just tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
I was drawn here for personal reasons.
Just tell me anything.
I am a vegetarian.
Really? I can't imagine living without meat.
That must be the hunter in you, Mr. Knight.
Just tell me anything.
I am not an easy person to get to know. I am a very private man.
Isn't that unusual for someone in the museum business?
Not at all. My displays speak for me.
Just tell me.
Not everyone can come see the museum, so I occasionally do public speaking on the subject of historical voodoo.
Anything coming up that I might attend?
No. But then you have me all to yourself right now, do you not?
Actually, I can't think of a thing.
Then let us discuss something else.
Tell me about historical voodoo.
Very well. I will start at the beginning, Mr. Knight, and will go on from there at your prompting.
Sounds good.
As you may know, voodoo is a grassroots religion, formed by the mixing together of many different African tribal religions and Anglo religions, such as Catholicism or Protestantism. In other words, it is a religion born of the African slave trade. But African slaves were imported not only by the United States, but also into the West Indies, where the French and Spanish ran plantation islands. Prior to 1803, the New Orleans area was owned by France. The French Creole in those days owned many African slaves. But the Creole did not permit their slaves to gather, giving no chance for voodoo to breed here natively. The Creole also knew enough about the corrupted pagan practices of the West Indies slaves to ban the importings of slaves from that region.
So how did voodoo come to New Orleans?
After the Louisiana Purchase, American legislators relaxed regulations. Slaves were permitted to gather. The Americans also removed the ban on West Indies slaves. Around the same time, a slave revolt occurred in Santo Domingo, what is now Haiti. Between the lifting of the ban and the Haitian Revolt, West Indies slaves began pouring into New Orleans. Some of them were free people of color, freed or escaped slaves. Some came with their white owners who were fleeing from the revolt.
What happened when the West Indies slaves got here?
They brought voodoo with them. The native slaves were more than enthusiastic about embracing it. It gave them power, Mr. Knight, if only in the form of a communal bond. Among the first meeting places were the Bayou St. John and the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The early voodoos were heavy snake worshippers, worshipping the one they called the Great Zombie.
Tell me more about history.
By 1817, the voodoo activities were beginning to cause fear among the white slave owners. An ordinance was passed to forbid slave gatherings except in designated public areas at designated times. The time was Sunday afternoons, and the place, Congo Square. The slaves and free people of color gathered to dance simulations of their voodoo dances, right in sight of Creole society. Of course, they also continued to meet in private for the real thing.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
There were a variety of kings and queens at first, voodoo priests and priestesses. But from about 1830, a single power emerged. This was a voodoo queen named Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau ruled voodoo in New Orleans for many years.
Are you sure you can't tell me anything about voodoo?
I've given you as much detail as I can, Mr. Knight. Look around the museum if you desire more information.
Tell me about current voodoo.
Many people think of voodoo in terms of magic spells or gree-gree. That kind of practice is actually called hoodoo and is only a part of true voodoo. Voodoo, the religion, has a strong following in New Orleans. In fact, it is growing quite rapidly. There are several voodoo churches or temples in the city, and others all across the United States. African Americans see it as a tradition all their own. Whites, and there are many in the religion, are attracted to it because they think it is exotic. I personally am more interested in the history of voodoo. Some of the new movements are copying Haitian or even African voodoo, but it is the voodoo of New Orleans that I find so intriguing.
Tell me about Marie Laveau.
There were actually two Marie Laveaux, mother and daughter. Most people thought they were the same woman. Her continued youth added to the mystique. The original, the mother, was also known as Widow Paris. It was she that began the empire.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
The Laveau tomb, where one or both of the Maries are believed to be buried, is in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. It is a popular shrine for practitioners and tourists alike. I myself take tours through the cemetery on a regular basis.
Really? Do you have any running this week?
No, but the cemetery is open to the general public as well.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
When the Widow Paris began to practice, there were many voodooians in the city. By 1830, she was voodoo queen of all New Orleans. The Widow Paris was a hairdresser for rich Creole ladies. She also paid household servants to spy for her. Between the two, she knew everything about everyone who mattered in New Orleans. She was not above using her information to appear psychic, to intimidate, or even to blackmail.
You sound as though you admire her.
For a black woman in the mid-1800s to gain power is an incredible thing, Mr. Knight. However she achieved it.
Tell me more.
She kept a pet snake, danced with it too. She held traditional voodoo ceremonies out by the lake. She took herself seriously, very seriously. But she was not above selling tickets for her events to curiosity seekers. She was not above using voodoo any way she could to make money. That is for certain. But if she had been in another line of work, in another age, that would have been interpreted as entrepreneurial genius, rather than a sign of fraudulence.
Hey, you don't need to convince me. I admire anyone that can actually make a living. What exactly is hoodoo?
Hoodoo refers to magic folk traditions of the South. Hoodoo is a bastard of voodoo. Many of the gree-gree are similar, but hoodoo does not have the religious aspects of voodoo.
So how's the museum business?
Those who truly seek to understand are few, Mr. Knight, but even one can be an audience.
Sounds about like my shop. So where do you pick up all this stuff?
Oh, here and there. We accept donations of any pertinent items.
Do you ever get any wackos in here?
You mean, besides yourself?
Yeah, besides me.
I do not care to make those kinds of judgments, Mr. Knight. All are welcome here.
You're a big guy, aren't you? You work out, play sports?
I do not play basketball, if that is what you want to know.
Who, me? No, you just look like such a natural athlete.
I do find ways of keeping fit, Mr. Knight. After all, our bodies are temples.
You sound like Grace. I should get the two of you together.
Is Grace your wife?
No, she just acts like it. So what do you think of our summer weather? Have you ever seen it so overcast or so muggy?
It is unpleasant. The heavens are not pleased these days.
Nice outfit.
I prefer simple cotton to dead flesh, Mr. Knight.
I'll have to remember that. This is quite a place you have here.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. I have dedicated myself to the preservation of this unique culture. It is gratifying to see others reap the fruits I have sown.
A very large, very formidable-looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage.
What does this do?
Turn that thing off.
Oh, sorry.
We have air conditioning, you see.
Yeah, I see.
The Voodoo Shrine is filled with items that both fascinate Gabriel and also make his skin crawl. A flyer advertising Magenta Moonbeam, a local voodooienne. Her parlor is on the corner of Orleans and Dauphine.
I'll be going.
Come back again.
A sign on the front door of Magenta's home reads, "Attuning with the Spirit Realm," back on June 22nd. The wall doesn't work that way. Odd-looking marks adorn the Laveau tomb wall.
I want a copy of these strange marks. I'm sorry to bother you.
You got something to say, son?
What can you tell me about voodoo?
They say it was part of an old religion from Africa, brought here by slaves.
What can you tell me?
I don't really care to talk about it. I don't do it none myself.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Isn't it just awful, them finding those bodies with the voodoo things around them? I don't think there's any real voodoo going on. Somebody trying to cover their tracks is all.
What do you know about...
I told you all I know about that.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Seem like everyone wants to visit New Orleans at least once in their lives. And they love the cemetery tours. I see tourists in here every day of the year. There are lots of things to see here, but none as beautiful as St. Louis Cemetery #1.
What can you...
If you want to know more, you should ask someone else.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? I see snakes around here all the time. Most of them aren't poisonous, of course. I don't mind snakes myself, but lots of folks are afraid of them.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I told you all I know about that.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Sure. She was the voodoo queen of New Orleans, a powerful voodooian and a powerful sorceress. Believers still come to her tomb, you know. They write secret marks on the walls, leave offerings. Then there's the tourists. They come out of curiosity. As a matter of fact, that big Dr. John fella from that voodoo museum, he's here at least once a day. But Marie Laveau's tomb isn't the only one the believers visit and make markings and leave offerings at.
What else can you tell me about Marie Laveau?
Her tomb's on all our tours. Even the Baptists come round here to gawk. Of course, you may not know this, but some of the real serious voodoo types argue that she ain't in this one at all. Down in the unmarked tomb in #3. It's all the same to me, I say. Save me a lot of cleanup work if she weren't here, if you ask me.
Tell me about yourself.
My name is Toussaint Gervais. I'm the watchman here at St. Louis #1.
What exactly do you do here?
Oh, I keep the place tidy, of course, but a big part of my job, too, is looking out for the grievers, you know. People come to pay their respects, and they need looking out for. Sometimes they so grief-bound, they don't know what they doing.
Tell me about yourself.
That's about all there is to say.
Tell me something about St. Louis Cemetery #1.
You know why the dead are buried in tombs and not in the ground, don't you? The water table's too high. Them coffins will float right out of their graves. Ha! Them dead will go floating right down into the Coda. Of course, if it were Mardi Gras, nobody'd even notice. It's a historical place. People buried in here from the Civil War. Back further, too. Take a look around. You'll see.
Tell me something about St.
Just look around. You'll get the feel of the place.
You said there were other mock tombs?
Yep. I've seen bull hearts left on tombs and a nest of vulture feathers, plates of peas and congreve. Animal parts, human parts even, it looked like. Male parts, if you get my meaning. And this is one of the great family crypts, mind you. Odd how them types just pick a spot and stick to it.
What other tombs got marked?
No, I ain't one for naming names. I don't like to encourage that kind of thing. It's distressing to the families, and rightly so.
You been working here a long time?
Longer than you've been alive, son. I may perhaps be here longer than you'll be alive, for that matter.
Kind of a quiet job you've got, isn't it?
Most of the time, yeah. They act up some at the full moon, though.
You must enjoy the company of dead folks.
Unlike the living, they ain't never given no reason to dislike them none.
How's business today?
About like every day. It's what you call a seller's market.
Two heavy, solid marble doors provide an entrance to the tomb. The imposing tomb is elaborately labeled Getty.
I don't need to go visit the family tomb today. Hello?
Huh?
Bonjour, Monsieur Walker.
Bienvenue, Madame Casona. Comment ça va? How you be feeling today?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Walker. I'm certain someone's buried a sleep knot bag somewhere near my steps. I haven't slept a wink, not in weeks.
Now, don't that beat all? I'll need some easy night candles then, huh?
Do you think that would help? I do hope you're right. I said 3 rosaries this morning for Our Lady's intervention.
Rosary good, sure enough, but you buying them candles too, boy, you gonna whip any no-sleep gree-gree, I tell you for sure.
Very well, Mr. Walker. Put them on my account and send them around to my house. Oh, and there's another thing. I didn't catch her at it, but I know Mrs. Lefebvre put stomachache powder in my tea at the last meeting of the Creole Grand Dame. I've been in misery.
Now, you put 9 pinheads up in the little box, add a pinch of graveyard dust, put it up under her front post step. That'll turn the trick back on Miss Lefebvre, and she be the one with the bellyache. I got the pins of dust right here if you want them.
If the Blessed Virgin will grant me her protection, I'll be safe from these practitioners of evil.
Oui, madame. Though, don't hurt to be proactive neither now, does it?
Naturellement, monsieur. Merci beaucoup.
Mais non, madame. It's nothing. Au revoir.
Au revoir, Monsieur Walker.
Hi there. Is this your store?
This the Dixieland drugstore. And I own it. Me. Name's Walker. Willie Walker.
Can you tell me what you know about voodoo?
This is a novelty shop, monsieur.
You think I'm stupid? This is a voodoo shop. Look at all this stuff.
These is novelties, curiosities. If people want to think they magic, it's not my concern, you know?
Are you telling me that you own a voodoo shop, but you know nothing about voodoo practices?
Ça n'est pas ça faire blanc.
What does that mean?
It means you should mind your own business, monsieur.
Look, I'm researching voodoo for a book.
I don't have your answers, me. You want to buy something, monsieur?
What do you know about the voodoo murders? What did you say?
Nothing. Them killings have nothing to do with my shop, monsieur.
What do you think of New Orleans?
I live here all my life, me.
What do you think of
If you're not from around here, monsieur, you should sign up for some tours.
Do you know anything about snakes?
What kind of snakes?
The kind they use in voodoo?
Pythons, boas, so I've heard.
Really? Do you have one?
Are you crazy? What would I want with a python?
What did you mean when you said Caprice Saint-Cor?
I didn't say that.
You did. I heard you say it.
You heard wrong, monsieur. I said no such thing.
What do you know about Marie Laveau?
Marie? She's somebody from the old days. One of them old folk tales. The tourists eat it up, no?
What else do you know?
I don't know much, monsieur. Someone at the Voodoo Museum can tell you all about her.
What else do you know?
I don't know much.
That customer of yours, the little old lady.
Customer?
The woman I saw in here, Madame Casino, you called her.
I don't talk about my customers to men who come in off the street.
Tell me about yourself.
My name's Willie Walker. I own the place.
How did you get into this kind of business?
Now, why should I discuss my business with you, man?
So, this is a voodoo store, huh?
Voodoo? No, man. This a curio shop. The things you see here are from local folklore. None of it real, I tell you for sure.
What about all these magic oils and powders you're selling? Aren't they a part of voodoo?
Read the label, man. We make no claims. Sold as curio only. It mean what it say, no? These are novelties, not voodoo.
So, do you get many tourists in here?
We, all the time. They want to buy a bottle of money-drawn oil or wang a bag to take home with them.
How's business?
About like always.
I'm a businessman too. I own a bookstore here in the quarter.
I don't really care, me. I got a store to run.
Have you always lived in New Orleans?
My papa, and his papa, and his papa, all the way back to the days of Marie Laveau, we've been living here.
So, does any of this stuff actually work?
You crazy, man? These are just curios, novelties for the tourists.
Nice weather we're having.
Don't bother me. Can't you see I'm busy? St. John Eve coming, I got to be ready.
Got a second, officer?
What can I do you for?
What can you tell me about snakes?
What does this look like? A zoo? Never mind, don't answer that. No, I don't know nothing about no snakes.
I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
He's in his office. Go on back.
Do you know what caprice and call means?
No. Sounds foreign or something.
What do you know about Marie Laveau?
Marie who? Is she the one that hangs out on Conti and Nash?
No. Never mind.
Gabriel can't do that from the front lobby.
Hey, Mosley.
Knight, I had a feeling you'd show up. Dang air conditioning must be on the blink.
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
There's voodoo that goes on in this city, sure. I looked into it a bit at the beginning of this case. But the voodoo stuff found at the crime scenes is all fake. It doesn't have anything to do with the real stuff. I know. I asked some experts. It's intimidation tactics, that's all.
What else can you tell me about voodoo?
I told you, don't worry about that part of it. It's all faked.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Lots. Can you be more specific?
Do you know anything about the killers?
At least 20 people attend the killings. We know this from the variety of footprints found at the scenes.
Footprints? Aren't those as good as fingerprints?
Can be, but we'd have to have a suspect in custody first, and the suspect would have to match one of the few distinct prints we have. Most of the footprints are smudged, trodden over, unreadable. These guys are so casual in their expertise, it's maddening. Like they know we'll never find them.
How many murders have there been so far?
7 murders have so far been linked to the Voodoo Murders case. The first murder occurred about 8 weeks ago. The MO is the same in each murder. Lake Pontchartrain was the 7th.
What kind of evidence have you found?
No fingerprints, a few bare footprints. Found a few fibers, but not many. The weirdest one was leopard fur.
Leopard fur. Describe the crime scenes.
Well, there's the corpse itself, minus the heart. Around where the body was killed, we find marks and flour and blood. There are traces of wax from candles, red and black. Ordinary wax candles, so the lab reports. Also blood and feathers of chickens and goat's blood. And plenty of the victim's own, of course.
What's the coroner say?
The victim's heart is always ripped out of the chest and missing. We haven't located a single one of them.
Lovely. Any idea what they do with them?
Don't even want to know. Also, the coroner says some of the victims had heart attacks before the incision. Literally scared to death. The knife wounds are consistent with a long, narrow, wavy-edged knife. Probably a ritualistic dagger.
Any witnesses?
Nope. There's never been a single witness. No one's even heard a disturbance. It's damned weird. Like they just don't want people to see. And so nobody sees nothing.
Know anything about the victims?
The victims are all out-of-towners. We still don't know why.
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
Sure, no problem. Okay, anything else?
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Is she that red-headed chick that works at Freddy's?
No.
Then I don't know her.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
You and me grew up here together. You tell me. It's a pretty nice place, even seeing the stuff I see, you know. The Carter's getting a bit too wild, though. Getting hard to control. Not quite what it was when you and me used to hang here, but... hell, I've never known anything else.
What can you tell?
Ah, I'm too sentimental to say anything else about it.
Do you know anything about snakes?
The only thing I know about snakes is that I don't like them.
Does the phrase caprice encore mean anything to you?
Hell no! Is that French? My mother spoke it, but I always had a hard enough time just speaking English.
True enough. Tell me about yourself.
For the book?
Sure, why not?
Okay. What do you want to know?
How do you like working on the police force?
Are you kidding? You know I love being a cop. And New Orleans, it's the best place in the world to be one.
What are your plans for the future?
Well, you know, I don't like to count my chickens before they're hatched, but... I don't see why I can't be the chief of police of New Orleans someday. I already know the mayor, and my track record is one of the best in the department.
I'm sure it's just a matter of moments, mostly.
Yeah, you'll see.
Got any hobbies?
Yeah, making your life miserable.
I'm serious. Don't you shoot or chew or something like that?
No, I'm a freaking ballet dancer. Jeez. Yeah, I was #1 at the Louisiana State Fair Marksman Contest. I play trumpet, too. You know, put your lips together and blow.
How's your home life?
Oh, real funny night. Why don't you just bring in some freaking salt? You know Annie left me. My home life is shit.
Right. Sorry about that. Just tell me anything at all.
Remember how we used to play monkey in the middle? Man, we used to piss off our senior year teacher. What was her name? Oh, Miss McKelly. You'd act like you were gonna toss her an eraser or something, and then you'd throw it to me over her head. And we used to do it at your grand's, too, like with the remote when she wanted to watch her soaps.
Yep, and it was a great way to pick up women in the library. Ah, those were the days. Just tell me anything at all.
You know, my doctor told me I got a little family of ulcers starting. I wish this case would end so I could get some rest for a change.
Just tell me.
Oh, my back hurts.
Just.
For the book, I wanted to be an astronaut when I was young, or a fireman.
Fascinating. Just tell.
I'm 6'2".
You are not.
Oh, come on. I'm close enough. Just write me out that way.
Just.
You know, I kind of like a woman with dark hair.
Yeah, I know. It's a regular thing with you.
Now that Grace.
You're on your own with that one, pal. I don't even want to know. Oh, nothing. Never mind.
Sure, no problem. Okay, anything else?
How about getting me some coffee?
Coffee? You want coffee?
Should that surprise you?
Nah, you've always been a caffeine addict. It's just that what we got here hardly qualifies.
So I'm desperate.
It's your stomach. I'll get you some when we're done talking.
That long?
All right, I'll go now. Don't touch anything while I'm gone.
I think I'll just borrow this badge.
Hey, what are you doing with my coat?
Nothing. I thought I saw something crawling on it.
Just drink this.
Thanks, tons. I mean it.
Okay, anything else?
I got those photographs you left for me.
Really? Great. What'd you think?
Astonishingly lifelike.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You got any more ideas for photos for the book?
Nope. I think we have everything we need.
Okay, but you shouldn't underestimate the power of beefcake, my friend.
Do you know anything about the patterns around the bodies?
Yeah, weird, huh? All 7 victims had those marks around them. We've got all the marks on file, but we haven't figured out what, if anything, they mean.
So, how's it hanging, bud?
Lousy. I hate crime scenes. People are sick fucks, you know that, Knight?
I'm starting to get that impression. You been feeling okay lately? You look like hell.
Me? You know. I can't sleep at night, what with thinking about the case and thinking about Annie.
I can relate. Played any b-ball lately?
Does it look like it? I'm so out of shape I'd probably have a coronary just looking at a ball.
Yeah, I'm out of it too. We should play sometime, get back into shape.
Man, I'd love to, Knight. I'll let you know if things ever settle down.
Anything else new?
Just work. Sorry I don't have more time to chat, bud.
Trying for a real estate job with that coat?
No, Are you trying out for a janitorial job with that hair?
Have you ever called the hair club for men?
I'd rather have no hair than your hair, Knight.
So how do you find anything in this office? It looks like a war zone in here.
Hey, I get my job done. I'm a detective, not Betty Crocker.
Are those new shoes? What are those, loafers? Kind of a mud-brown suede kind of thing?
Hey, I'm on my feet all day, all right? Is that okay with you?
Mostly. I'm being perfectly sincere.
Yeah, you and my grandmother. Right.
Can I see the other 6 patterns?
Sure. People like that kind of stuff, don't they? Might make the book seem more mysterious. Go talk to Officer Franks. Tell her I said you could see the file.
I'm gonna hit the road.
Ciao, baby.
She probably wouldn't cooperate.
But I wouldn't mind trying. Excuse me, officer?
Yes?
So, what's it like being a policewoman?
The glamour never ceases.
You know, that uniform looks great on you.
Uh-huh. Is that a compliment, or are you asking to borrow my dress?
It's a compliment.
Well, you just never know around here. Thanks, but I'm married.
Could you get me some coffee?
Are you speaking to me?
Why, yes.
Wow, déjà leave it to Beaver. I'm the police photographer, sir. You might be able to find someone around here dumb enough to get coffee for you, but it won't be me.
Oh, thanks anyway.
I can give you precise instructions for the handling of hot liquids if you need them.
No thanks. Can you get a file for me?
What file would that be?
The Voodoo Murders file. Detective Mosley said I could see it.
Really? Well, if you said so. There it is. You can look at it all you want, but don't leave this area with it, okay? And no photocopies either, I'm afraid.
Of course. I understand completely.
Gabriel opens and reads the police file.
I'm done.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Mosley.
Knight. Are you hot?
Can I ask you about some...
You're the writer.
I got those photos.
So you...
A cop-author photo might be nice.
You and me? Together?
Why not? Of course you'll have to try to tone down your masculinity.
Well, okay. I'll call the police photographer. Franks, come in here a minute, would you? And bring your camera. I hate to put my coat on. It's so damn hot in here. But a picture's a picture.
What did you need, Detective Mosley?
We need a picture, please. Make it a good one, eh, sweetheart?
Sure, sweetheart.
Say chintzy.
Was there anything else, Knight?
Hold on a sec while I go check my hair.
Good God, Knight. Make it fast.
Just wanna check this machine here.
The vendor wouldn't be interested in seeing that.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Yep, I mind, all right.
Why?
Because A, I don't know anything, and B, I'm busy.
Oh. You seem to be quite a reader.
Yep.
Did you ever read anything by Gabriel Knight?
Nope.
That would be, at the very least, illegal. A small boy is tap dancing enthusiastically for a doobie dog vendor. The vendor ignores him.
You dance pretty well for a kid.
Give me some money then.
I don't have any.
Then don't block the view, mister.
Do you do requests?
Got any money?
Nope.
Something to eat?
No.
There you have it. No.
Can't think of anything at the moment.
Okay then.
I have this gift certificate.
I'm busy.
It's good for $20 at St. George's Books. Finest bookstore in New Orleans.
Really? I'll have to check it out sometime.
You could take this gift certificate with you, if you'll give me a doobie dog.
A doobie dog for a $20 gift certificate? Sure, here you go.
You wouldn't like a doobie dog by any chance?
Would I? Thanks, mister. You got any special requests? Let me know.
Oh, hey! Oh, come back here. Hey! Oh, unbelievable. Rotten luck.
A lone drummer beats out a haunting rhythm on a large African drum.
You mentioned something about special requests.
Yeah, you got one?
Can you fit through the bars around the statue?
Can I? Just watch me.
Good. There's something in there I can't quite reach. Can you reach that piece of paper?
Sure thing. Here you go.
Thanks, kid.
Yup. See ya.
Stupid wind. Now I have to start all over.
This belongs to you, doesn't it?
My drawing. How'd you get it?
Oh, it was a bit of a squeeze, but I hate to see you lose your work. I lost my only copy of a manuscript once.
Well, you saved my butt. Let me know if I can ever do the same for you, hey?
Is there any way you can reconstruct the whole pattern from these partials?
The pattern is probably circular, and there's some repetition in the elements. Okie dokie. Well, I think there's an area missing. If you could get me any more of these, I'll see what I can do.
That doesn't seem to work that way.
I have another one of those patterns.
Really? Let's see. Yeah, this is great. I think there's enough overlap now. I'll give it my best shot. I'll show you what I come up with tomorrow.
Great. I appreciate it.
May I help you?
My name is Detective Mosley. I'm here on police business.
Really? How interesting. Wait here. I'll inform Miss Getty. Miss Getty will see you. Right this way. Miss Getty will be down shortly.
Thank you.
What can I do for you, Detective?
Nice statue. I like it.
Thank you. It's The Rebellious Slave by Michelangelo.
I'm trying.
Trying what?
To reach the, truth. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Miss Getty?
I assume that's what you're here for, Detective.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? Why would you want to know about that, Detective? It's rather silly, isn't it?
There's nothing silly about the voodoo murders.
But that voodoo is faked. That's what I've read in the papers.
That's what the papers say, all right.
But you're not convinced.
No, frankly, I'm not. The police department isn't known for its imagination.
Oh? Well, I can see that your imagination is considerable.
Are you sure you can't tell me anything about voodoo?
I really don't know much about it. Isn't there some place in town that you can find out about that sort of thing? A museum or something?
I believe there is a museum.
Then maybe you should check there.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The murders? Only what I read in the papers.
And what do you read in the papers?
I'm sure you know much more about it than I, Detective.
Tell me about your life in New Orleans.
The Getty family came to New Orleans in 1800. We worked very hard to get where we are. On the other hand, we've done a lot for this community.
I can believe that. You're doing a lot for me right now. Tell me more about New Orleans.
I'm afraid I don't get out into New Orleans society much. Because of the Getty money, we have slots in the best country clubs and on the best Mardi Gras courts. But I must admit I hate it. I avoid actually making an appearance unless it becomes absolutely necessary.
I know about those courts. They're very exclusive.
Yes, especially when it comes to people of my race. That's why we don't turn down the appointments. It's a rare opportunity to rub their noses in it. But that's not where I spend my time. I have more important things to do with my life.
That's admirable. Many women would love the chance to get caught up in that kind of life.
I'm not any kind of woman you might be familiar with.
Yes, I can see that. Do you know anything about snakes?
I'm no expert. I don't fear them like most people do.
What do you know about Marie Laveau?
I've heard of her, of course, but that's about it.
Do you have any idea what Capri Saint-Caux means?
No, I don't. What does it mean, Detective?
That's confidential information, ma'am. Tell me about yourself.
I suppose I don't really have a choice. What do you want to know, Detective?
What kind of things interest you?
I don't have a lot of free time, but I do appreciate the arts. Opera, symphony, ballet, fine art. If you look around, you'll see that we collect African art, for example.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
It is, Detective. It means a great deal to me.
Do you have a career?
A career? Being the head of the Getty family is a 24-hour-a-day job. We have many holdings and many responsibilities, financial and otherwise. The management of our business affairs and properties leaves me with time for little else.
Poor little rich girl?
Believe it or not, Detective, wealth does have its price.
Tell me about your family.
The Gettys? We're a very private family.
How many people are there in your family?
Well, my mother just passed away.
Oh, I am sorry.
So am I. She was a magnificent woman. We were very close. I was an only child.
And your father?
I never knew him.
It's hard to believe that any man would leave a woman like you, or like your mother must have been.
He did not leave, Detective, but that's really none of your concern.
I'm sorry. Go on.
There are, of course, other Gettys in the city. I have a large extended family.
I see. Do you have a husband, boyfriend?
I'm very independent, Detective. The women in my family have always preferred it that way.
So, you've never been married?
No, and I never will be.
What about children?
Yes, that is likely. Someday.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I have a business degree from Vanderbilt. I wanted to study psychology, but my family's interests came first.
Oh, why not something like law, then? Surely that would have been an asset to the family.
Law? Please. I do have some morals, Detective.
I'd like to hear just about...
For the record, I'm 28, Detective.
I'd like to hear...
I have few friends. A woman in my position can't really afford them.
I'd like to...
I try to stay away from the media as much as possible. Last year there was that story about John Jr. and our phone didn't stop ringing for weeks. I prefer to keep my private life private. I would appreciate it if you'd keep my name away from any public association with the police, Detective.
Of course. I wouldn't know where to begin.
As you wish, Detective.
Can you tell me anything about what happened out at the lake?
I wish I could. But I've never seen or heard anything unusual at the lake. And I do spend quite a bit of time out there.
Excuse me, but your eyes are really distracting. I don't think I've ever seen a color quite like that brownish gold. It's so deep and rich. Man, if I could bottle that, I'd make a fortune.
Thank you, Detective. That's an interesting observation, though probably not relevant to your case.
A good detective never knows what might be relevant, Miss Getty.
Then you must be truly exceptional at your job.
I can't help noticing that you're in incredible shape, Miss Getty. Your legs are so strong. Do you work out at one of the clubs by the lake?
Well, Detective, I do enjoy physical activity.
Oh, me too.
Actually, I was referring to swimming and modern dance. I can't say that I do much exercising at the lake, though.
Ah, well, it was worth asking.
I think this has gone on long enough. You're not really a detective, are you?
Who, me? Well, I am on this case, Miss Getty.
I saw you at the lake yesterday. I thought you must be with the police since you were there, but you don't act like a police officer. Besides, I'm rather certain that the other man said his name was Mosley.
All right, you caught me. I'm not with the police. My name is Gabriel Knight. I'm a writer working with Detective Mosley on a book.
Well, Mr. Knight, now that we've established who you are, perhaps you can tell me the real reason you're here.
Well, I am researching the book, and I thought you might have seen or heard something at the lake.
I don't like liars, Mr. Knight.
Okay, you're right. I really just wanted to see you again. You can be mad at me if you want, but I swear I've never done anything like this before.
Mr. Knight, you've lied about your identity and wasted my time with meaningless questions. If it weren't vaguely flattering, I'd really be angry. You're lucky I don't call the real police. I think you should go, Mr. Knight.
Malia, wait. If you just give me a chance.
I've wasted enough time. I'll have Robert show you out. Robert? Show Mr. Knight out, please.
I most certainly will.
Thank you very much. I had a lovely time. Ah, shit. I knew you'd miss me, so I came back.
Really? I forgot you were gone.
The old desk is one but okay.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you have any idea what Cabri Saint-Caux means?
No. Sounds French, though.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure, what?
I need you to look up a Madame Casino.
Madame Casino? Is she related to the murders the same way your friend Molly Aghetti was?
Grace, Casino's at least 70.
As if that makes a difference to you. Okay, I'll see what I can find. Well, it's about closing time.
So it is. Good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gabriel. And try not to dream, okay? I'm so glad you could join us today. I've got messages when you want them. I also checked out Casino. There are multiple listings in the white pages. I got the page, but you'll have to figure out the right one.
Great. Thanks.
Now, are you gonna tell me what happened yesterday with Molly Aghetti, or is it just too embarrassing? Don't tell me you actually got to see her.
All the stars out tonight.
Gabriel, you don't seriously think she's interested. She can have any man in the city. You know, men with bank accounts.
You underestimate the Knight family's tragic poet samurai appeal. When Daddy married Mom, she was the hottest catch in town.
I always suspected there was something fishy in your family tree. But seriously, I think you should be careful.
Meow, Grace.
I'm serious. I don't know why, but I have a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach about this.
It's called jealousy, my dear. And you're right, you should be jealous of Molly Aghetti. As should every woman on this planet.
I just... never mind. I'll just fix these books. Your life is in your own slippery little hands.
The point is to get it into somebody else's hands. And soon.
Times dated June 20th, 1993. Gabriel scans over an uninteresting front page. Under the cultural events section, there's a notice about a lecture on African religions. The lecture is at Tulane University. Gabriel's horoscope for the day. An evil eye is upon you. Change your course before it's too late.
Lighten up. Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you have messages for me?
Your pal Mosley called. He left a message that they are interrogating a suspect this morning, and you might want to be there.
Sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
Do you have
I've given every...
I might be able to use this black shirt. Do you have a Madame Casino as a client?
Madame Casino? Sure, I know her. She's not here right now, though.
Really? She told me she'd be there. Would you happen to have her address by any chance?
Yes, but I'm not sure I should give it out. Who are you again?
She's my aunt.
I'm sorry. Hello?
Hello, I'm calling from the Dixieland drugstore. We have an order for you.
Castro, be quiet. Who is this?
I'm a friend of the owner.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about. Cajun Critters Animal Clinic.
About Madame Casino. I really need to get her address.
I just don't know. Why did you need it again?
I'm worried about Castro. He's missed 3 dance lessons.
Castro? Her little doggy? Oh, he's so sweet. Well, I guess if you know Castro, it's okay. Her address is 345 Dauphine.
Thanks. I'll be back later.
Have fun.
That's Mosley. That's Mosley. A drummer has decided to set up outside the police station.
You! Give me back my badge! Now, Knight!
Sure. Thanks for letting me borrow it.
Yeah? You borrow it again in your history. Now, about today. Glad you made it. It'll give you a feel for how I am in action. You know, handling suspects, that sort of thing.
I'm sure it'll be invigorating. Who is this guy, anyway?
Calls himself Crash. He's been an informant for us before, mostly helping us bust small-time pimps and dealers trying to break into the territory. He's been staying invisible during these murders, but we picked him up this morning at Jackson Square pushing coke. He knows something. Call it detective's instinct.
Detective's instinct. Got it.
All right, Crash. I want to hear about these murders. Have you been present at the so-called voodoo rituals?
I don't know nothing. All right, I told you.
Come on now. You can tell me. Do you know anyone who's been to these rituals?
Look, I can't say nothing. You gotta let me go.
Relax. No one knows you're here. The men who picked you up were in plain clothes.
Plain clothes? Like you could fool them. They know I'm here. They've got ears all over the city. They know everything.
Who are they, Crash? Are they the ones doing the murders?
Let me go.
If you're so worried about being detained, start talking. You tell me what I want to hear, and maybe I can get you into the witness protection program. But you gotta earn it.
Witness protection? Are you crazy? Oh, don't make me laugh. Oh, Jesus, just let me out of here.
Oh, come on. Who's behind these murders, Crash? Why are the victims all members of the underworld?
Oh, by now they know I'm here. It's different when I'm supposed to come here. Oh, if I can send a message. Yeah, tell him I didn't say nothing.
Christ, he's freaking useless. Just take him back to detaining, would you, Tony? I tell you, times like this, I'd kill for truth serum. Damn the civil rights.
Can I quote you on that?
Huh? Hell no. Damn, we can only keep him for 24 hours. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna have to let him go. Sorry it wasn't more exciting. You know, for the book, I mean. Hey, maybe you could punch it up some. You know, what do they call that? Fiction. That's it.
It certainly is. I'll see what I can do. Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer.
I'll let you get back.
Later, Knight.
How's it going today?
What? Oh, it's only you. Man, I have been jumpy all day. That pattern of yours really freaked me out for some reason. There's just something creepy.
You finished it?
Yeah, and you're welcome to it. Here.
Wow. This is great.
Uh-huh, yeah, just don't, like, blow up the planet with it or something, okay?
I didn't mean to upset you.
Ah, forget it. I'm probably just being stupid. Do your thing with it, and, good luck.
The panel behind the mesh window moves from the...
May I help you, my child?
I'd like to make a confession.
All right, if it'll make you feel better.
I've had a lot of women, Father.
A lot? More than 10?
Yes, Father.
More than 20?
Yes, Father.
More than 40?
Yes, Father.
Son, I don't think this is a matter for a priest. I think you need a good therapist.
If we're counting therapists, then I'm up to at least, let's see here, count the one, and, this might take a while.
My son, I'm afraid my lunch break is coming on about now. Pray for forgiveness and say 20 rosaries. On second thought, when you finish the math, say that many rosaries.
Gabriel hears him leave the confessional.
I should probably add one more rosary for that while I'm at it. I've been a bad boy. I've always wondered how the other half lives.
Inside the box, Gabriel finds a priest collar and some oil used for blessing. That oil is for holy purposes, not the sort of thing Gabriel would want to use it for.
You never know when a priest's collar will come in handy.
Looks like the lecture is just starting.
Voodoo is the tribal religion of Africa, but the name Voodoo is actually a banner heading, under which resides an entire body of distinct tribal belief systems. The word voodoo may sound familiar to you. What is known in the States as voodoo is actually an amalgamation of African religious systems, voodoo, and European religions, primarily Catholicism. All of these subcults of African voodoo have certain things in common. The most important is the worship of a pantheon of spirits, instead of the single deity that the Christian and Muslim systems have. Some of these spirits are elementals, some relate to specific tasks or places, some represent important tribal leaders who have died. This spirit worship is what makes voodoo so easily adaptable. With all these spirits, it's no problem to add a few more. Say, for example, the Virgin Mary. At the height of tribal Africa, warfare was common. One tribe would conquer another, and the Loa, important in the conqueror's tribal system, would be adopted readily into the conquered tribe's Loa pantheon. In this way, many of the voodoo cults spread and mingled throughout tribal Africa, enriching the belief system and causing innumerable offshoots. The basis for the voodoo religion seems to be as old as man himself. It has much in common with many early pagan practices: animal totems, sympathetic magic, elemental spirits in the trees, the heavens, the bodies of the sick. Africa is believed by many to be the cradle of the human race. Some of the voodoo Loa may be as old as the Garden of Eden itself. We still can't explain some of the real power of these primal religions. And note, I said primal, not primitive. there are African Bokors who baffle our scientists with their supernatural powers. Now, let's discuss the elements of voodoo.
Fascinating guy.
In voodoo, the spirits are called the Loa. During a voodoo ceremony, celebrants are possessed by the Loa. This is called being ridden. The human worshipper is seen as a horse, and the Loa as the divine horseman. A person being ridden by a Loa takes on the characteristics of that spirit and becomes, in effect, merely a vessel for the more powerful entity. Some of the older original Africa Loa include Dambala, the great serpent god, Ezuli, the mistress of love, Papa Nebo, or Gede, the lord of death, Awe, the spirit of water, Legba, spirit of the crossroads, and the cruelest and most dangerous, Ogun Badagri, the lord of destruction.
I gotta get more sleep at night.
Tribe-specific Loa can have as much or more power as the more widely worshipped Loa. For instance, a particular tribe might revere highly the Loa of an ancestor who was a legendary hunter or politician. Voodoo temples are called Houndfors. Their priests, Houngan or Bokors, their priestesses, Mama Loa. In a Voodoo Houndfor, there's a ritual circle marked by a center pole called a Poto Meton. During ritual conclaves, initiates dance under the supervision of a Bokor and a Mama Loa, or head priestess. The use of totems, or animal masks and markings, was not uncommon in the original African ceremonies. Now, though, all but the oldest sects have abandoned this practice. Ritual objects used during the conclaves included the ritual gourd, or asan, the ritual knife, or kubasa,
That knife gives me the chills.
the ritual whip, or fouetcache, and the ritual coffin, or seke madule. These items are often optional, called for by the Mama Loa for specific magical rituals. The Mama Loa is the most powerful figure in any voodoo sect. Voodoo is a truly matriarchal system. Even the Bokor knows his power is limited. The Mama Loa is the supreme woman. She goes out of her house at night, sees many things, and tries to get butterflies, and at night again she sees other things, including fireflies.
Firelight. Gabriel?
What? Can't see.
Gabriel, get in.
Can't. It's too small for me.
You must get in, Gabriel.
It's not mine. Too small.
Hide, Gabriel, hide.
No! Let me out! Help!
Young man, the lecture is over.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Are you a student?
No. My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Well, you've already interrupted and slept through my lecture, Mr. Knight. I hope you have something worthwhile to do here. If you figure it out, let me know.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
You already sat through my lecture on the subject, Mr. Knight. Perhaps next time you could stay awake and learn something.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I've read about them in the papers. I must admit to some interest. But according to the newspapers, the voodoo aspect is faked, so I haven't really pursued it. You know how Americans, especially Hollywood, treat voodoo. I'm sure there are many so-called practitioners out there that have no idea what they're doing or the power they're playing with.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I find it interesting to see the occasional fragment of voodoo practices in the everyday culture of New Orleans.
What else can you tell me about New Orleans?
The Catholic Church has always dominated in New Orleans, and its imagery, in turn, has dominated New Orleans voodoo. If there's more you wish to know, perhaps you should read my books.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I'm not a zoologist, Mr. Knight, but I know all I care to about reptiles.
Do you know what Capri Sancour means?
Capri Sancour? Yes, I do. It's a Haitian term, I believe. It's French, and literally translates as goat without horns.
As in a female goat?
No, as in a human sacrifice. Sacrifices in voodoo are usually of the animal variety. Chickens, bulls, goats. If the gods demand a goat without horns, it means a human being.
What was that translation for Capri? Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
While I find the colloquial bastardizations of voodoo somewhat interesting, from a sheerly intellectual point of view, there's not a lot of relation between people like Laveau and true voodoo practices.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
As I said in my lecture, which I assume you actually listened to, is that animal masks, totems, are used extensively in most African voodoo religions.
Do you know anything about veves?
If you'd taken notes during my lecture, you wouldn't have to ask.
Tell me about Damballa.
Damballa is one of the major Rada Loa, also known as Damballa Wedo. He is an ancient Dahomean rain god, often represented as a large boa constrictor. Damballa is the most powerful and most violent of the Rada Loa. The Rada Loa are typically benevolent, as opposed, say, to the Patro Loa. He is still worshipped heavily in Haiti, and when voodoo first started in New Orleans, the early conclaves were reportedly based on the worship of the great zombie, the great serpent Damballa.
Tell me more about Damballa.
I have extensive courses in the Loa running next semester. Perhaps you should take one of those, Mr. Knight.
Tell me about Ogun Badagry.
Ogun Badagry is one of the Patro Loa. The Patro Loa are much more violent than the Rada Loa. Some people believe the Patro Loa originated in Haiti, but I have found some evidence that the Patro Loa were African as well, though worshipped only by a small voodoo tribe, and a very bloody one.
Tell me more about Ogun Badagry.
He is a chief nasty, Mr. Knight. He is the spirit of war and destruction.
Tell me about yourself.
All right, Mr. Knight. I'm 35, a fully tenured professor at this university, as well as a fellow at Cambridge. My doctorate was obtained at Syracuse. Yes, Syracuse, in religious studies. I'm an agnostic, but I find human belief systems fascinating. I specialize in African religions because I grew up there. My father was a Protestant missionary. And I am heterosexual, when I practice sex at all, which isn't very often. Any other questions?
Oh, no.
Fine.
Your lecture was terrific.
Oh, you think so? You were snoring so loud I didn't think you'd heard it.
Tell me more about human sacrifice.
It's very rare. Most voodoo practices do not include human sacrifice as a matter of record, but it is theoretically possible, if that's what the gods demand. For example, one of the chants I had translated for me from a Haitian ritual went like this. Mistress Ezuli, come and aid us. If a cock is demanded, we will give it. If a bull will suffice, behold it. But if a goat without horns is required for sacrifice, oh, where will we find one? Ezuli is the gentlest of Loa, so they call on her for mercy. But I have seen grown and powerful Houngan tremble before possession by one of the more violent Loa, such as Papa Nebo. Clearly, they are afraid that something of the sort will be ordered, or that Loa will simply take it for themselves.
Tell me more about human sacrifice.
I wouldn't dwell on it. Most voodoo sects probably haven't seen a human sacrifice for several generations.
Can you tell me anything about this?
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Mind if I copy this?
Be my guest.
Great. I'll be right back. Here you go. You know, this is a fascinating veve. You must tell me all about its origin.
Actually, I was hoping you'd tell me. Can you figure out anything about it from the symbols?
Well, some. That's why I wanted a copy. I want to research the design myself.
Have you heard of the voodoo murders?
No, you're kidding. Really? Then the voodoo is authentic. The newspapers are wrong. Boy, are they wrong.
You think this veve is authentic?
Authentic? Mr. Knight, that's like asking if the Mona Lisa is a painting. Tell you what, I'll look into these symbols myself and see what I can learn about the sect that made this. I'll give you a call when I have more information. You are associated with the police, aren't you?
Absolutely. But I'm undercover. You can contact me at St. George's Bookshop in the corner.
All right. Now, I'd like to get started on this, if you don't mind.
Is there anything you can tell me about the voodoo aspects of this photograph?
This is a serious voodoo ritual. Nasty stuff.
In what way?
Let's see. I can't make out much detail from this photograph, except for the corpse, of course. But the wound, the face, and what little I can see of the ritual paraphernalia... It reminds me of certain black voodoo practices. Very rare. I've never witnessed them myself, you understand.
Really? Interesting. Thanks. I'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Yes? Who is it?
Wrong house. Never mind.
Fine, good day.
This disguise is almost ready. I hate to say it, but I need to style my hair to be more... respectable. I don't think hair gel alone is going to convince her I'm the All right, but this is private.
Yes? Who is it?
It's Father McLaughlin to see you.
Father McLaughlin, you say? You must be new in the parish. I'm so pleased to meet you, Father. Do come in.
Thank you, my child.
Please be seated, Father.
Thank you.
Now, what can I do for you?
Nice doggy. Good Castro.
Madame Casanova would not appreciate that. Gabriel's impersonating a priest.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions, my child?
Of course not, mon père.
Do you have any idea what caprice encore means?
Mais oui, I know. I bet you do not know, Father, n'est-ce pas?
It means goat without horns.
Father, you surprised me. You do know what it means. You know what they mean by goat without horns, don't you? A human being. That's right. Slit your throat, cut out your heart. Pure evil murder.
Do you know anything about human sacrifice here in New Orleans?
Well, my great-grandmother could tell stories. She saw it. People say that sort of thing wasn't done in New Orleans, but the real voodoo queens did it. Oh, yes.
Who are the real voodoo queens?
Well, my great-grandmother told me that Laveau was just a flamboyant decoy. She distracted authorities from the real voodoo queen of New Orleans. It's been the same one for almost 200 years. She's head of a secret voodoo enfant. That's what they call their temples, you know. It's so secret, most of the voodoo people in the city don't even know about it. The real voodoo queen controlled Laveau, gave her a little bit of power, and used her like a puppet.
Tell me more about this secret voodoo hound for.
Well, I've never seen it. I wouldn't go near it if you paid me. But it's here in New Orleans, I guarantee it. I hear their drums at night, oh yes. That's why I'm so ill, I tell you, those drums. But we shouldn't talk about it. They'll hear us. It's the devil's work that happens there, I can tell you. I'll show you something secret. You mustn't tell anyone, Father.
I swear on my collar.
Here it is, mon père. A true object of evil if ever there was one.
It radiates something, all right.
It belonged to my great-grandmother. She told my mother that it was a token to gain entrance to the real voodoo ceremonies.
You don't say.
To tell you the truth, I've always felt nervous about having it in the house. You know, evil influence and all.
I can see how you would, yes.
And yet, I could never part with it. It's been in the family for generations. Would you bless it for me, Father? I feel strange asking such a thing of you, but surely you understand.
Bless this bracelet of a snake. Even though its vibes aren't great, let it do nobody harm. When they wear it on their arm, voodoo spirits go away. Don't come back another day. And now let us pray.
Gabriel has a thought about the clay.
Bless, oh bless this circlet of silver. Take the curse, oh take it, Wilbur.
A lovely blessing, mon père.
Yes, I think it made a lasting impression. Here you go.
I feel so much better now.
A low wooden coffee table sits in front of the sofa.
Well, madam, I must be going.
Of course, Father. I know how busy you must be tending your flock.
I'm not going back on the street looking like this. Hi.
To get the mask, Gabriel would have to buy it.
Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Ask what you want. I answer what I want.
I found out what Cabri-Sankal means. How did you know about human sacrifice?
I never said them words, monsieur. You must have heard them from someone else.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
The only one left is Willie Jr. over there, the old crocodile. He's sort of a mascot now, him.
About Willie Jr., would you be willing to let him go?
Maybe. For $100.
100? You gotta be kidding.
Me and Willie Jr. are very close now. I couldn't part with him for less.
Malia?
Mr. Knight, what are you doing here?
My family's tomb is here.
Mine too.
Unnoticed. Subtle.
Well, Mr. Knight, if there's nothing else,
Don't go. I need to talk to you.
whatever for.
I can't stop thinking about you. I've been in your thoughts too. I can see it in your eyes.
Mr. Knight, you don't know anything about me. I'm not in a position to get involved.
I've said that a million times myself, but this is different. I think we both know we can't fight it. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this.
I have so many obligations. My family is very traditional. You wouldn't understand.
Hey, I love tradition. I've seen Fiddler on the Roof 100 times.
This isn't a musical, Mr. Knight. We live in different worlds.
Look, I know you got more money than God. Do you think I care? Do you think that's why I'm saying this?
No, I don't.
Why don't you come see my world? I've got a little bookshop, St. George's on Bourbon.
I know.
See, I knew it. You're crazy about me too. Come by tonight, please. My world isn't so bad.
I'm sorry, but there's no place for someone like you in my life. Not now, not ever.
Damn it.
It's getting late. Gabriel decides to go home for the day.
Excuse me. I'm going inside.
Oh? I'm afraid St. George's is closed for the day.
I'm not a customer. I'm here to see the owner.
Why don't you just leave your name and number with me, and I'll tell him you stopped by.
Listen, if Gabriel is here, he'll want to see me. Is he? Here?
I really couldn't say for certain, but in the morning...
Gracie, say goodnight. You came. I didn't think you would.
I didn't think I would either.
Your eyes. I could show you around a little. It's It's not much, but
Please don't. I couldn't focus on much of anything right now.
yeah, I know. God, what is it about you?
Just shut up and kiss me.
You're not speaking to me this morning?
Don't be silly. I just have nothing to say.
Have it your way. Have you noticed this guy outside the shop?
Yeah, he gives me the creeps. I wish he'd go away.